Well, hey there. Welcome to Paw Chronicles-N-More with Jim. Today, we're going to deal with the more part. Last weekend, I had went to the Ohio Nut Growers Association meeting. First time I ever been there. I've never been involved with them, and I decided, you know what, I'll check it out. I had a friend that was going there, and I'd go over there and meet up with him. It was local. But anyways, today I'm going to set seed into this pot. Now this pot is an 8-gallon pot, and it'll hold a lot of seed, and later on I'll remove whatever comes up, if anything comes up, from this pot. And one of the things that I wanted to show you, as I said, this is the more part. Hecans, not pecans or pecan, but Hecans with an H. Some people's never heard of them. I've heard of them, never seen them. And when I was there, I bought a pound of them. The individual that had them said that he had stratified them naturally outside. And that's a good sized nut. It looks like a pecan, but it's not a pecan. It's a hecan. And some may ask, what is a hecan? Well, a hecan is a cross between a pecan and a hickory. I've always heard that hickories can pollinate pecans. Well, I live up here in north central Ohio. We don't have pecans, but recently I've come across a strain of pecans that are northern pecans, good for zone 5. Now, I'm in Ohio. The individual that had these, he had these, or he's locally somewhere in Ohio. So, chances are the results of these right here came from a northern pecan. And what I'm going to do today, as I said, I'm going to try to set some of these up for germination. Now, these are starting to get wore out and getting older. I'm guessing this is going to germinate the same way as the northern pecan, because I did do some northern pecans in my nursery, and what had happened was it cracked on one side. It was indiscriminate. It's not like a oak or a chestnut where it splits in the center, sends a tap, and then growth. It split it on the side, much like a buckeye. A buckeye is indiscriminate. It'll crack on the side and send out a root. But we're going to go ahead and set some of these up, and we'll see how many we can get in this pot. This is an 8-gallon pot, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay them on their sides beside each other. Oh, probably about 2 inches away, and just in case, the pointed end of that nut, that there's got a little mark on it. I'm going to point towards the center of the pot just in case it does split right there. And these right here are being set up roughly about 2 inches apart from one another. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. At 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Just in one circle, I've got 19 right there. And then I'm going to come 2 inches away from that outer circle and create another circle the same way. 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, that there's 30, and 3 in the center, 33. The rest of these, I'll go out into the woods and just drop them in the ground and see what they'll do, if they do anything at all. Now, I try to communicate with quite a few people that are within the growing industry, and as far as trees and nut trees, and there's some very knowledgeable people that I have gotten myself involved with. And one individual in particular, he's the owner of the Cliff England's orchard and nursery. I spoke with him, and Cliff, he had let me know that some of these, whenever they come up, some of them will end up being hickory, and some of them will end up being pecans. He suggested that I would just have to grow them out to see which is which the hickory I'm not so much worried about. But if I can get a few of the seeds to germinate and show to be pecans, well, now I have more than likely a northern species of pecans that I could plant around here on my humble little property. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to throw a little bit of dirt. I got a bucket right here, and I'm just going to put dirt on top of the nuts just as they are. Smooth that out. And then I'm going to water that in real quick. Ooh. What will happen is that dirt will sink. I'll add more dirt to the top of it. Let that settle down a little bit. You see, I got it attached to the dolly, and that's because there's no way I'm going to be able to pick that up when it's wet and take it to where I need it to be. I have a spot in my nursery I can set this pot and allow it to germinate naturally, and we can see what happens there. And hopefully we get what I'm looking for. I'm getting ready to throw a little bit more dirt on top of here because that dirt is already settled down in there, probably a good 1.5 inches to 2 inches down into the pot. And I want the pot to be full of the dirt, almost to the brim. Now down in the bottom of the pot, I've got probably about 2.5 to 3 inch layer of mulched up leaves, and if these germinate and they get down in there, the leaves over time will decay, and that'll give it like a food source for them anyways. And hopefully we can get things to grow in here. Yeah, a little. millipede or centipede crawling around in there. Yeah, let's throw a little bit more dirt on there. And incidentally, the dirt itself has mulched up leaves mixed into it. And the leaves being mixed in there, put nutrients into that dirt. And when they do come up, it gives them a food source. Give it another watering and let it sit out here for a good while before I take it to where I'm going to its location in the nursery. I did this here because it's more handy. I got the water hose right here. Didn't have to drag the hose down there to the nursery. I'm using the hose to push the dirt around to make it flat. This will be the first time I've attempted to do this with Hecans. And, like I said, it was the first time I've ever came across Hecans. I've heard of them and never came across them. And when I came across them, I was intrigued. The wife, she loves pecans. And me, I'm okay with pecans. Like a good pecan pie. Now, what I'm going to do, get down into the woods. I probably got about 20 or so of these. And just poke these into the ground and let Mother Nature take over from there. Anyhow, if you like what you see, subscribe. My name's Jim. Any comments or questions that you may have, I welcome. You all have a God bless day.